Okay, let's have a look at hours. The hours factors are the most complicated, I guess, to manage, and I would imagine that you'll not be updating these things very often. But as we see, we've got the model names here on the left, and we can scroll down and see all the models. Now these are all factors as shown by the title. So let's have a look at this one here. Now if I hit enter on the keyboard, see we get a whole heap of factors, and these are actually IDs. So note this statement here: the grid below shows ID numbers, not factors. Click a cell and hit enter to show them. So this means that the BCAI, which has an ID of 1, is using an impeller factor ID of 1 at the moment. Now this BCAN also uses an impeller factor ID of 1. So let's have a look what that is. So this is ID 1. You can see also that we're showing up an ID 2 here. So this grid will show all the different IDs, and you can add new IDs here. For special parts, you can allocate this BCAN to be ID 2. So as long as we've got an entry in the grid, we can change this ID here. And it's the same with casing factors. So a lot of these have just got an ID of 1 and 2, some have got many more, but initially these are all set to be 1. So what I'll do is we'll have a look at the AVDP. Okay, so that's the model ID 20. Again, it's impeller factor 1. So let's have a look at that, and we'll say that, okay, we know that we've now started putting sharpened blades onto these AVDPs. Centrix doesn't calculate or make any special allowances for sharpened blades. So let's increase the hours, whatever Centrix calculates. Let's increase those hours by a factor for allowing for these blades. So I'm going to say okay, let's put 3 in there. We'll put oversize 0 up to size, say 1000. We might even say we want to use all sizes there, which is say 3 meters, and we're going to have a factor of 1.25. okay, everything else, it's got no inner speed ring. Fabricated hub, we think that's going to be okay with 1. There's no airfoil blade, no additional hours needed for anything else. We might say impeller drawing hours. Go straight to there. We're going to say that needs an extra couple of hours, so we're going to put 10 hours in there. So I'll just click the up arrow now, and because this has a default value of 1, you see all the other figures have been set to 1. So now we want the AVDP to have, this is sometimes a bit tricky to do. It's quite just a matter of hitting 3 on the keyboard. So now we've allocated 3 to the AVDP. Now let's have a look at CRW. You can see that 3 is still shown there, but the CRW uses an ID of 1 because it says so there. Okay, and that's how we manage these factors. So there are a whole heap of factors in there. Pedestals, inlet box. Inlet box is slightly different because we have size ranges in there as well. Inlet cones, assembly factors. So you can tune, again these are all factors, remember, unless it says hours. I mean engineering hours. These are hours, right? Not factors. So always drag up these column widths if you can't see clearly whether it's a factor or an hour. So you really have to be on the ball when you're playing around with this. Okay, that's hours and factors there. If they're engineering hours is about the only thing, or drawing hours that is purely hours and not a factor. Okay, so rectangular flanges, some length sizes in there, the labour factor. It depends how you're going to make your flanges as to the price Centrix will come up with, and if you want to tune it, you can change the material factor or the labour factor. If you decide to use angles, you're going to need a lot more material, because Centrix thinks that you're using flat bar, so you might want a factor of 2 here but only half the labour or something. And the same with inlet flanges, and there are a lot of inlet flanges as it happens. Okay,